Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. The 2020 Black Swan collection in gold and silver. Let's explore! It goes without saying that 2020 has been quite a year. In reality, it is the year of the Black Swan, and it just is apropos that there are coins that commemorate this particular occasion the entire year, and that is the 2020 Perth Mint Swan collection. Now, it was not intentional that these particular coins were created for this year, but I believe the symbology is quite revealing, and in some way, maybe even predictive of what was to come as a year was to transpire. These coins were conceived of before the pandemic was a worldwide event and made headlines across the nations of the world. For it's a series that started in 2017 with a graceful swan just sitting on the water. But this year, the swan is beginning to take flight, or coming in for a landing from a flight. As you can see here from this 5-ounce version that gives us probably the clearest look of the coin in high relief, this bird appears to be taking off, implementing its Black Swan pandemic, as it is something that's affected the markets as well as the health of many people. It has killed people out there, and that is kind of the nature of what a Black Swan is. You know, we have talked about a Black Swan event in the world of precious metals and markets for quite some time, waiting for that Black Swan to have an effect on the markets. Well, most assuredly it has this year. But as this this swan has begun to take flight, as we can see in this particular coin, the gracefulness of the swan still maintains. And I'm hoping that that will represent a return to normalcy in due course. And hopefully you can take a look and interpret this message as the Black Swan is beginning to land into the water. It appears to be ruffled around the feathers of the bird that comes in for a landing. And so hopefully we're over this pandemic. But nonetheless, these are beautiful coins, well struck, and a lot of great detail on them as we take a close look at this 5-ounce version in silver. And as you can see, the blackness is noted in the field of this coin in this high relief version here from the Perth Mint. Beautifully done. This particular coin is noted as a silver swan, but in reality, the coin itself the bird itself is a black swan. It is just struck in silver. And by the way, it should be noted that the Perth Mint itself has its symbol is of the swan. In fact, we can see here from this certificate, there is the swan that represents the Perth Mint. The Perth Mint has exceptional quality. There's another very rare piece. This one is noted as the gold swan in high relief 1-ounce version. This particular coin is limited to 188 pieces. And here we see the queen on the obverse. Next we have the bullion version, which has a mintage of 5,000 pieces. This is the silver swan. And this is a beautiful piece. Actually, I think this is 25,000. It's the proof version that is 5,000. And I believe the high relief silver version is 500. But this is a very nice coin, and it shows in the bullion form as sort of a reverse proof look, which is common with Perth Mint bullion products. Still exceptionally high quality, but in this case, the swan does indeed appear black. And black swans can take shape in many forms, or can form in many shapes. And most assuredly this year it has taken the form of the coronavirus pandemic. And here we see the swan with multiple levels of frosting in the proof version. And this swan appears almost frosted white. Maybe that means that it's coming into the winter of the epidemic or the pandemic here, and we'll see how it plays out. But hopefully it means we're nearing the end. And then in this gold bullion form, we can see here, with a limited mintage of 5,000 pieces, the same form taking place, where it has a deep golden hue with a sort of reverse proof, exceptional Perth mint quality. Yes, indeed. This is 1 year that I had wanted to get at least the silver and gold of these particular coins, mainly because of the design. I had it in my mind to try to at least get the silver and gold bullion versions to be able to add to the collection, kind of like I had done in 2017, because I thought that was a very nice design that year. But it was only after this thing became bigger than what we had thought, in terms of the pandemic, that I decided to go ahead and get all the different versions of this coin. The proof, the high relief proof 5 ounce, the gold, and the very limited mintage gold high relief 1 ounce coin. And so that is what led me to completing a collection of coins that has symbology, it has meaning, but it also has a very beautiful design for the swan. I believe that this collection stands alone for what it is and for what it represents for this year. I probably won't be collecting other years of the swan, although I do have the inaugural year in gold and silver. I don't have any of the 2018 or 2019s. I probably won't get the 2021 either. But this year, I thought it was an exceptional design, and I wanted to commemorate this year, 2020, for what it was with this collection. It's a collection that I know we'll be proud of as a stark reminder of this year, but also because of the beauty of these particular designs of these coins. And that's the beauty of collecting, really, in a sense. You collect what you enjoy. You buy what you like what you buy, you enjoy what you buy, and you know that you're always protected by the intrinsic value of the metals contained therein. In a worst-case scenario, which means that this very limited mintage 1 ounce gold coin, it has some collector value, but arguably it's not guaranteed that collector value, even though it's a very limited mintage. Rarity does not necessarily translate to desirability or to demand. But I know that it has at least its intrinsic value of the gold contained therein that really transcends even price. But not only that, the price for that particular coin on the market today is what protects me in knowing that I can accumulate gold, even if it's a little bit different than what is normally, quote, stacked out there. And I'm protected by that value. And I can enjoy the pieces that I collect because of what they are, and knowing that they are liquid for the metal that is contained in them, gold and silver. Very common, commonly recognized metals out there. I know that any of these products being recognized as a Perth Mint product are fairly liquid if I ever needed to sell. But I don't want to sell any of them because I enjoy collecting. And that is kind of what it's about for me. It's just that these particular coins here hold a special place, especially with what we have seen this year, and as a reminder of what the whole world has gone through. And there's been some people who have experienced this black swan with a much more greater severity than many others of us have. My prayers are with them and with everyone who's been affected by this virus. We all have been in some way. I feel extremely blessed and fortunate to not have gotten the coronavirus or not to have lost my job over it. But it certainly has affected even my workplace to a much lesser level than many other people who have experienced this. And so it's just something that we have to understand, that life is fragile, that the economy really, in a sense, is fragile, and something like this can really rock the boat, not only in a national economy, but also in a world economy, which really has already been in trouble. I believe this coronavirus pandemic has just exacerbated the already problematic issues in our world economy. There are fissures, there are cracks, and there's talk of a reset. And this global reset, this great reset that they're talking about, really essentially could almost, in a sense, become a created black swan, in a sense, or some sort of an event that they may take an advantage of the black swan to be able to implement whatever they want from this. Black swans and crises are always taken advantage of, it seems, by the politicians and the powers that be, and usually it doesn't work out for good in the end for us. Which is another reason why we hold these metals, gold and silver, to protect us from such a thing, because they are independent of any kind of system out there. And really, in a sense, they have been that way for millennia. There's no way that governments, agencies, factions, groups, the media can control gold and silver. Its historic value is paramount. And I think that is another reason why it's quite apropos that these particular coins are struck in gold and silver. The black swan in gold and silver. As a representation of what has happened, of what could be, what could come down the pike. But we know that we are always protected. We are our own central bank. Be your own central bank by accumulating gold and silver. And in my case, I like to accumulate them not only to stack, but especially for my collections, as you see here. It's a collection I'm very proud of. Do any of you have any of these coins? What are your thoughts on the gold and silver swans from the Perth Mint and the Perth Mint in general? I think they do an exceptional job with the quality of their pieces. Some of these pieces have quite high premiums, but they are very well done. Immaculate quality there. So the black swan of gold and silver. There you go. Take and enjoy these pieces as I just kind of arrange them in a different way to show the beauty of them here as we close out this video. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.